on.
I heard you.
All right, 7 o'clock, we're ready to go? All right, call this meeting to order. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Brooks.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good news, Mr. Hilderly.
Not being in the school year, we don't have a parade of people that we love to bring to the board. So the one thing that I wanted to mention, which, maybe it's just good news to me, because I didn't think that this would happen. But as you know, we had a resignation of our school nurse, Denise Osworth, and I was very fearful that we would not get any candidates who would be dying to be a school nurse. But we've got 5 interviews set up, and we have a backup core of 3 other people who have applied since we scheduled interviews. So very happy about the response. Apparently people aren't as concerned about the position. They're all coming from either the clinical or the floor nursing setting. So no experienced school people, but a lot of medical experience, and pretty happy with the response. So I just wanted to advise the board on that. We will have, I think, a very quality school nurse when the school year starts. I'm expecting that because the people who are interviewing don't have school nursing experience, but we'll probably onboard them like 1st of August to prepare for the school year, whoever the new hire is, because the setting is so different from what they're going to be experienced in. So that's just we got a few people to apply.
Good,
Yeah.
all right, very good, thank you. Anything else? All right, we'll move on to public comment on agenda items. I don't know that we have any public, but if we do, please limit to 3 minutes. No public comment. Move on to board agenda. Revisions to the agenda. We do have revisions. Trustee Brooks, would you like to explain those to us?
So we will be adding the motions for the budget. So in action items, I hereby move to add 2 additional action items for the 2021-2022 final budget and the 2022-2023 proposed budget.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to revise the agenda to vote on the budgets for the 2021 and the 22-23 proposed budgets. Roll call vote, Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Davis.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Tomlin.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Are there other
The rest is good. Actually,
we need to put other ones on there as well. They're not on the agenda.
What?
The other for the community service fund, the food service.
they're lumped.
Okay, so
The motion, I believe, for Mrs. Brooks was to lump the approval of 2021-2022 final budget as one action item and the approval of 2022-2023 budget as one
So
action
we
item.
don't have to put all that together.
the whole budget is combined. I got it.
Correct.
Very good. Thank you. Any other additions or corrections?
I was going to remove the budget committee report because essentially we're covered that, unless you want to keep that on for some reason.
I think we covered the budget as far as I'm concerned, and
Covered it
so I'll
again.
accept the motion to remove that.
So I would move to remove the budget committee report.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded to remove the budget committee report. Roll call vote, Trustee Tomlin.
Aye.
Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Davis.
Aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so we're removing the budget committee report.
That's all.
Any others? Then I will accept a motion to approve the agenda as modified.
So moved.
support.
We moved and seconded to support, to approve the agenda as modified. Roll call vote, trustee Davis,
Aye.
trustee Lewis,
Aye.
trustee Moore,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
trustee Tomlin,
Aye.
trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, the agenda is approved. Scheduled reports. First on the list, preschool childcare. Ms. Binky and Ms. Bird, please. Right?
B and B.
Are you not coming
We're
together?
always
You can do it
together.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm Sean Benke, and I am the director of Tecumseh Preschool Program. And I want to tell you a little bit about our year that we just went through. We began the year with several changes and challenges. 3 of our teachers were internally promoted, leaving the need to hire 3 teachers. Susan Bird was promoted to child care. I was promoted as the director of child care. Sorry, Bird. I was promoted to director of preschool, and Sandy Oberski was promoted as a kindergarten teacher. We had 2 maternity leaves. We had 1 expected long-term health care leave. We had substitute teacher shortages like the rest of the district did. And we had several teacher quarantines throughout the year. So that's where we started the year. And I was learning everything as we went. We were lucky enough to hire 3 outstanding teachers. We hired Delaney Gill, Amber Glenn, and Agatha Corlos, who is known as Augie Miller to us. We also were able to keep a wonderful long-term substitute teacher for the maternity leaves and the long-term medical leave. So we did have her in place, and that was Jeannie Batanzos. And she was amazing all year. She did wherever we needed her to fill, she filled. Through all these changes, our staff worked tirelessly together to keep us covered. They were flexible and they supported each other, and just really ebbed and flowed with whatever I needed them to do. Due to their efforts, we were able to still provide a high-quality, developmentally appropriate preschool program. We taught our curriculum with supplemental activities, and most importantly, we provided a consistent positive experience for our students and families. And this year, that was a hustle, but we did it. So we were really proud of that. We had district support from all directions throughout the year, and I couldn't be more thankful, honestly.
Amen.
Yes, we both did. Which brings me to Susan Bird. She had been one of our teachers before, and she stepped in to substitute teach with us. We needed her often, and whenever I couldn't cover the empty spots, Bird was happy to step in and help us out. She dressed up in costumes throughout the year and was our visitor for all kinds of things to support our curriculum because, as you know, we couldn't go into the community and pull community members in as we usually would. So Bird was Pete the Cat one day in a costume. She was Chef Bourdet, Chef Bourdet. She did all kinds of things. So we were really thankful, and we couldn't have survived the year without her. She helped us maintain the quality of program that the district is used to us having, even with the pandemic. The other person I really want to shout out to, we couldn't have survived without, is Kelly Glenn in finance department. She helped us apply for a state of Michigan stabilization grant. We didn't know how to do it, didn't know what we were doing, didn't know what to keep, didn't know how to spend our funds, and she helped Bird and I tremendously. She met with us at times several, like once a week, with several crazy phone calls throughout the week in panic. Like, do I save this? How do I save this? What do I do with this? What parts do I save? The state of Michigan has lots of requirements for what we had to save for our grant, and she helped us do all of that. And she also encouraged preschool to apply for the next grant, which we received, and that came last week. So we have another grant in process for the next school year. So that gives us a little cushion. We couldn't have navigated all of the extra financial paperwork without her. And being new, I was clueless on a lot of stuff, and I was so thankful that she was there to help us, give us direction, and help us stay calm. I don't know if Bird had that many phone calls, but I did, almost in tears a couple times, like, oh, what do I do with this? And she was very calm and got back to us. So we're very appreciative, Kelly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There's a long list of people that I could thank, but there are,
every person that we talked to in the district was helpful. And everything. I didn't know how to do, a lot of this stuff, and every single department helped us, and the people were very kind. On to the state of Michigan Child Care Stabilization Grant. That allowed us to purchase a lot of stuff for the preschool that we really needed. There were classroom materials and supplies, paint for our classrooms that's happening this summer, preschool signs and advertising so we could work on our logo and on our message getting out there. A shed for the playground with new equipment, a new mud kitchen, a huge shade canopy, tricycles, all kinds of outside equipment that's coming. If you look now, it's not there yet, but it will be there soon this summer. Safety mulch and edging to keep the mulch in place, teacher chairs, storage cabinets, so much more materials that we were able to purchase that were long needed. We were able to provide tuition relief for some of our families who had some financial challenges because of COVID. We also were able to give teacher stipends to support staff retention through the difficult year that we had. We made strides in the district to become part of the district, or more a part of the district as a whole, with signage and branding and being included on the district website, which is coming. We're going to have a page or a part of the district website, and you'll see if you pull it up now, it says that it's there, but it's still in process. So we're working on it. And for next year. So next year, take a deep breath. Next year, we are hoping to, well, obviously continue to provide the outstanding preschool experience that we were able to do this year. We're going to continue to integrate into the Tecumseh Public Schools. We've been under the umbrella for a long time, and I'm working on us being more visible and out there in the community as part of Tecumseh Public Schools. We are hoping to grow our enrollment and build more visibility in the community so that when people see Tecumseh Preschool, they know that it is a quality program and they know that's where they want their child to be. And hopefully that will feed us into kindergarten and grow the enrollment of the district as well. That's really a big push for us. And we want the families to learn to trust us as their first contact and get a really positive experience so they know that Tecumseh Public Schools is where you want to be for that support. A final word on our year. I'm thankful that last year is behind us. I'm sure we all are. But I am so proud to be part of the Tecumseh Public School preschool program, and I look forward to working with all these amazing teachers and the staff of the Tecumseh School District as a whole for next year. That's pretty much all I have for that. Do you have any questions or any information?
I do.
Yes.
How many kids were in your, and like what ages?
Sure. So we have 4 classrooms that are 16 children each with 2 teachers in each classroom. So I believe we were at 54 or 56 children in our enrollment. The 16 is where we kind of cap per classroom. So our enrollment was higher than last year due to COVID, but we weren't quite full. We had a few families pull with some concerns, but we met those concerns and we stayed quite high in our enrollment. We are already enrolled for next year. I have 10 in each of the tuition classrooms and the 2 GSRP classrooms, which are state-funded programs. Those enrollment numbers I will start getting in July. Those are assigned to us through the county. So anyone out there that you know of who is looking for a preschool experience, they could go to runawayfreepreschools.com and .org, and they could apply online to see if they could get into the free GSRP program. We have 2 classrooms of those, or they could come to the 2 tuition classrooms where the parents can pay for that, or they could contact me and I could hook them up to see where they fall and send them that way if they think that they want to apply for the GSRP classrooms. So at this point, we have 4 classrooms total. But if you think about how many kindergarteners we have, there is room to grow. So we have 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. I would say maybe 15 3-year-olds and the rest are 4-year-olds. So those 3-year-olds will be coming back. We didn't lose any of them. So that's wonderful. That's really good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we're excited
Are these
about
all
that.
at Sutton?
We're all at Sutton. Yep, right now. But we are the classrooms are full. So I want to expand the program, and that's something to think about in the future. But at this point, we need to do more advertising to get the word out. And we have advertised in the Homefront magazine that will come out 3 times. We are advertising there. And then with the new grant we're just getting, I'm going to be looking at more advertising opportunities to see what else we can do.
I just want to thank you ladies for your hard work. I mean, it's an important age range and getting them some quality program and retaining them. That is wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, so thank you so much. Well, so for my portion, I do the preschool, which is the 3 and 4 year olds. But Bird, I'll give you to Bird because she does the before and after school care and the summer child care program. So she's my yes.
I'm nervous. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm Bird, Susan Bird, director of the before and after care and then the summer care. I went in this very blindly, well, not blindly, but as I kind of knew from the preschool, it pretty much is the same thing. It is a child care, it's a daycare. And so I just was like, how can I make this better or how can I improve this? But Rick, thank you very much for giving me the chance to do it. Right. And yes, Kelly, every person in this area, any question we had, I mean, we bounced big time off of us too. We asked and you gave us answers and helped us through everything. I mean, it was really good. And it was a great, I've got your back on how to handle this and stuff like that. So, with the grant, I have the 3 sites. I have one at Sutton, one at Acres, and one at the middle school. So all those 3rd and 4th graders that come from Herrick and Patterson, they come over to the middle school for the before and after care also. I have great teamwork, ladies that are working there, but yes, it was hard to find people to work. I work a lot, had to fill in and stuff like that. But with that, I wanted to change the rooms. I didn't want them classrooms anymore. I wanted them more to be more of a gathering, a comfy place to go, and like an arcade would be like, where they could go and do kind of what they want. It's their room, it's their choice. If they choose to do their homework, then they can do their homework. If they choose to just go over there and chat with people, they do that. So with the grant, we went and we changed almost everything in there. Tried to get some things unison, but because each room was different, I let the team leader, the teachers in there, decide what they wanted in there, like that. I didn't want it to be my because I'm visiting their room, so I wanted it to be their room. If they wanted these kind of chairs, I'm like, okay. But I kind of made sure all the chairs and tables were the same. So things got mixed up like, no, that's a child care chair. You're getting that one. And we were able to give relief to some, to like a month relief, no pay for the parents. And they were very receptive to it. And the word of mouth from the kids, they loved coming in and looking at the stuff. The parents loved it. All the staff, everybody coming in and seeing that stuff. It was like a breath of fresh air, and it was totally different kind of feeling. And that's what I want. I want you to come in and be relaxed. Like, I just want to go sit on the couch, and that's all I want to do. And that's what they did. So, for the past year, same problems with finding people to work. I'm like, I go sick. But it worked out. We were able to get, I mean, you don't have to have a lot of people. If I keep it to 18, the ratio 1 to 18, good. Most of those rooms are like licensed for about 22, but then I have to have a second teacher. So we keep it about 18 for in the morning and the evening. So that's how that works. And then for the summer, summer is going well. Knock on wood.
We definitely see such a difference in the kids. They're relaxed, they're having fun, and we're not like, okay, we're doing craft right now, this is what we're doing. It's more like, okay, this is our craft that we might be doing. It's your choice if you want to do it or not. I don't care. I don't care if you want to do it or not. It's fine. But you're not going to pick Friday to do it or something like that. So we don't, but they're very choice. All their choices, what they want to do. Used to be we took everybody down swimming. It's not that way anymore. You want to swim today? Okay, you're going swimming.
You want to go to the playground? You got playground and sprinkler your options. So there you go. So it's more, like I said, it's on them. So, they make the choice, the sprinkler, they went in one time, it's cold. I want to go do this. No, it's not going to work that way. You've chosen this. This is what we're doing. So I'm just about the 50 kids for the summer, which is good for my first time doing this. I'm okay. I am hoping to build this and get more people to help and work, and then we could have more kids there. I just must want to overload myself. And then for the next year, I have got that middle school for before and after it's a projected that I could use those both rooms for kids. It's that because all that influx from those second graders coming in and the repeaters still coming back. I can have 2 teachers and one to 18 and one to 18 and the other one. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get like closer to the time school starts. People are like, I need childcare. I'm like, okay, well, here's the packet. I don't know what I can do. We'll see where the numbers are and stuff like that. And it's not like, one kid comes in, one kid might be 5 days a week and there'd be another kid, maybe they're just Tuesday and Thursday. So it pans out. So, I mean, it could be list 30 kids on before care, but only like 15 come on Monday and that type kind of thing. So it's sporadic and stuff like that. So, any questions?
I have one real quick question. How much was the total grant that you keep talking about?
Well, each site got its own grant. So for Sutton, it was $224,000.
Wow.
The middle school was 106, and then the Acres was 64,000.
Wow.
Wonderful.
And it was, and Kelly's like, go spin. We're like, okay, it's like, and there was a lot of questions like, can we do this? Can we not? I mean, we were definitely all the time asking like, this is because we're frugal. Don't even like, here's 64,000. What are you gonna do? Like, I don't think, be careful with it, that type thing. I'm like, I just don't want to get audited. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want any of that to happen. Freaks me out. Yes. So hopefully we've done good, and stuff, but there's some like, maybe not that. I'm like, okay, let's move on to something else then. So, and we're hoping to do some relief or something.
Awesome. Great job.
And you've already
Thank you.
applied for money for next year.
And they got the.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I can't spend 106,000 in a middle school. Why they gave that much for that part of it, I have no idea. So it gets to carry over to 2023. So I'm like, okay, there. And Acres doesn't need a whole lot, so I'm okay there. I just beat off of her.
Awesome.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Traditionally, it's been the kindergarten teachers who make the first impression. Now it's you, and that, you get one chance to do that. So I'm glad you two are in there and making that impression.
I'm a preschool
Retention's
teacher, and I will
huge.
always be a preschool teacher. And the curriculum that we run is my favorite. If they would have hired me to sell that curriculum, I would have jumped on board and done it because it is so good. It is that good.
Good.
So.
Thank you.
A lot of positive energy from those 2 directors.
No
and
kidding.
I'll say.
we very much appreciate what they do.
All right. Very good. Moving right along. Finance report. Mrs. Glenn.
Yes, so in your monthly board packet should be the May financials. Cash on hand as of May 31st is $5,404,228.12. Check register for the month of May was $730,661.14. Total revenue for the period of July 1st through May 31st for all funds is $32,296,095.83. And total expenditures, again, all funds for that same period is $29,121,139.51.
All right. Thank you. Any questions? I mean, again, we got this packet. We've reviewed it. I reviewed it. I didn't have any. I didn't see any coming ahead of time, but take questions now. No? All right. Thank you very much. It's been a busy week or two, I know, for you. And not only are you supporting them, you're supporting us, and we thank you for that. Facility committees.
So we met on June 15th. I will not go through the first item on our agenda, which was bond restructuring. We reviewed that last week at our specially called meeting. But we do have updates on, well, not updates, but reports on ESER HVAC, solar update, maintenance buildings, and director reports. So, Mr. Hilderly shared with us the maintenance building update with I did it proposal. So currently, sounds like the city does have maybe some property for us to consider so that we can sell our current maintenance and bus facilities to I did it for expansion. So I think that's still under negotiation and discussion.
So this, I mean, this is a revenue neutral situation, right?
Well, that's what
hoping.
we're investigating.
That's the
I did
goal.
it as paying for an appraisal of our property. And then the board will have to consider whether or not that amount would be sufficient for us to relocate with donation from the city of land.
We'll have to get a
So we're,
proposal on
if
what
it's
it
a,
would cost.
if it's a 15-step process, we're on about step 3.
On ESER boilers and HVAC at the time of the meeting, no funds were available yet. Mrs. Glenn shared the feedback about the SRO being in the funding and needing to swap with something else, which I think is complete, correct?
Yes.
So we also asked some questions about when we had to actually spend the money. So ESER 1 is already completed. ESER 2 is December of 2023, and ESER 3 and 11T are December of 2024. So that just gives you some timeframes as we wade through the state process to get there. Energy improvement study. So Mike was not there to give us an update on that or solar. And then for school cleaning, we did have a discussion of specifically the floors at the middle school. Do we need a floor cleaning company or what that would look like? So Mr. Hawkins was going to study that. So we'll hear maybe some updates on that this month, but no further action for the board other than the bond meeting that we had last week.
Any questions for trustee Davis?
Just a comment, that bringing in some type of a work crew, since we're not filling all of our custodial positions, we've got budget there to get somebody in here a couple times a month on a weekend, evening, whatever it might be, from another contractor to keep our buildings up so they don't get grungy, be huge. Bathrooms, cafeteria at the middle school, they just, first of all, it's old, so it looks dingy even when it's not. And when it is, it looks it just doesn't look good. You know, we gotta do something to make that look a lot brighter, especially to start the school year. It's gotta be ship shape, so when people walk in, they want their kid to go to school there. And that's a concern of mine. I've heard that enough times from people over the last year about the lack of cleanliness in that building in particular, that it just needs to be addressed.
You know, I agree. I want to comment on that too. I totally agree with that, but I also think that we need to make sure we start getting this stuff into our budget. Things like if that floor is so horrible, maybe, you know, Tom had talked about one time this great cement thing that they do, and it basically the floors last for dang near ever, I think is
rid of that
kind of what he was telling me. And we really need to try and get things into a cycle where the worst floors are getting replaced and they get into our budget.
I thank you too, because I was concerned about the cleanliness for bringing it up, and it's something that I hear all the time. I've seen it. It's no fault of the maintenance crew. You're working with less people than you ever have before. And then there's so many school events. So I do like trustee Lewis's idea of, you know, pulling some people in on weekends and whatnot periodically.
So that's in progress for the summer? But you have recs open. You have rec positions open to hire if you find them per people.
But we were talking about in the budget meeting is that we have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or however many people that haven't been hired and that money is allocated and we should be using that money all throughout the year to bring an outside company in and help them because one guy can't maintain that.
So is that something you're looking into? Outside?
Yeah, we should be
Perhaps
looking at that
Dan
now.
Gunder still has some contacts. Do you know Dan Gunder? Do you know Dan and April Gunder? Dan Gunder used to be, he's retired from a business that did cleaning like that. I will get you his contact information.
So the reductions from the people that we have not hired are not in this. final
Correct.
budget
So
revision.
to add to this conversation regarding custodial work, so in the proposed 23 budget is another wage increase for current custodians to bring the minimum rate up to $15 per hour. And then the 6 vacancies are still in that budget as well. So we're hoping with the increased wages that we can actually hire the people that we need.
I'm just making a note. All right. Any other questions for Trustee Davis? Thank you. Curriculum report, Mr. Lewis.
Well, you should have it now. I apologize. I typed it up a week ago last Thursday and I hit share. I didn't realize, I thought when I was in the board members that it would just go to everybody. You have to go through, click everybody individually. And I didn't know that, so I apologize. The meeting was relatively brief. Items we covered were the 5-year curriculum review process. Science is coming up this year. We thought that, especially the way Megan ran the one this year for ELA, from my perspective, I worked here for a long time. That was probably the smoothest it's ever gone for ELA. It really went pretty well. She's working on the professional development plan for the 22-23 school year so that our teachers get in-house development plans, and then they can use that for their sketchies. I don't remember what that stands for. Basically, their credit so they can renew their certificate without having to take classes. Explore real world and trade courses are on the docket, and research and see what other schools are doing. So this year, again, with Megan being brand new in this position, it's going to be a lot of looking at what other successful districts are doing and how we can implement some of their schemes and practices. Well, one of our discussion that we had on the topic of teacher coaches, it was suggested that another option for teacher coaches in the event that budget's tough is we can look at the high school, possibly middle school, being the department heads that they have be granted an extra prep hour to oversee their respective curriculum. That would save some money, but when you take them out of teaching for an hour a day, somebody else has to pick up that slack. So it could mean, hiring an additional person. That gets dicey to do from time to time because like we just talked about how we can't hire teachers as it is. And at the middle school and high school, it's not like elementary where you can just put a teacher in there and they can teach any subject. The teacher certification laws are pretty exact on that. One of the things that Megan pointed out that I thought was good, really good, was she said the middle school and high school departments beginning this year will meet monthly to discuss vertical alignments between grades and courses, which means 6th grade, 5th grade science teacher. I'll choose science. That's near and dear to my heart. But if you choose whatever topic you want, certainly science and math usually tag along with each other. There's constant chatter between 5th and 6th grade. 5th grade, here's where we're going to end up. So 6th grade, here's where you'll take off. Probably have a bit of a review at the beginning of the year, and then you've got traction going in. So kids are meeting standards in fifth grade, are being taught up to a certain standard, and then reviewed and moves forward from there every year. So that's very good, because sometimes that didn't always happen. And going back for 30 years, I mean, some teachers are really good at one thing that they teach, so they teach that a little longer than they do some other things. I was always guilty of that too. I mean, stuff you don't understand or don't care for, or it doesn't click in your head, you don't do as good a job. But I think with the system we're putting in place, I could go to somebody who is good at that. My weakness could be Mary's strength. I could go to her and she could help me with strategies on how to teach that better without fear of being, looked down upon or getting marked on my evaluation because I was bad at that one particular thing. It's working together, not working against each other. So Megan, I said before, Megan's in charge of those 5 PD professional development days. We use those acronyms all the time. Probably everybody here knows what PD is, but discussion of using the ASVAB, Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. I remember that from when I took it. And I took it in school. It's only because I got out of class to go take it. And then after that, I started getting all this recruiting stuff. And I didn't even know why. I didn't realize it was for the military when I took it. I just thought, hey, I get a couple hours off. So we can use that when people take that. I still remember that scam. When people get there, when students who take that, it used to be just pretty much males. Now it's males and females take it. It comes back and it assesses where you're at, what your interests and your strengths are. It's not just a aptitude test. It's aptitude but interest. So it would be nice if our counselors had access to that and they could kind of help kids or teachers, doesn't really matter. So they could help teachers in a direction, looking forward to what they want to be when they grow up. Maybe I should take it again and figure out what I'm going to be. And then we can also begin looking for ways to integrate co-op opportunities for our students. We really think we need to get on the stick, and it's not we, the committee. I mean, I know we as a board, there's opportunities here for kids to move forward. Again, 1/4 of our students here go to school and go to college and graduate with a bachelor's degree. That's about it. And that's a little better than the national average of about 21-22%. In a summary, we felt that as a committee that Megan clearly has the handle. She's got what it takes to do what we want her to do. She did a good job this year, and that was while she was wearing 2 hats. While she's wearing one, she's going to be able to dive into this a little deeper. Her organization's excellent. I don't want to say frank, but she's to the point when she's dealing with people and makes her expectations clear. And she has a very can-do attitude. And I think that's going to rub off on the people she works with. She's not trying to divide and conquer anybody. Just make sure that everybody there does the best they can do because they all teach Tecumseh kids. And I think let the 2 ladies speak, but I think as a group, I think we're pretty happy with what we have this year.
I just wanted to add that the department head model is used by many high-selling school districts. And if the other thing that we thought about with that is it helps retain those high-level teachers too, because if they have an opportunity to maybe get an extra hour to look at data and to work with the other people in their department, the data and things will be improved, and then that will help maybe retain them and not have them be in such a stress situation. I do want to say with the ASVAB, we do have a program through the LASD called Zello, but it really needs to be that ASVAB really brings it to another level, and it could be kind of a partnership with that for counselors and for teachers to start encouraging their students to look at different paths. And I think it would also help us when we are building our trade and other opportunities for kids. We can see where the lion's share of our students, what they need to have for the profession they want to go into, and are we meeting those needs? And I think you did a great report. We covered a lot, and you were succinct.
I don't know how you got all that done in a brief meeting.
I do have one question.
He didn't say his
He said it was a
talk
brief
was
meeting.
great.
Because Megan led it.
His summary was
Go ahead.
So, related to the ASVAB and students telling us what they're interested in, has there been discussion with Ms. Way? I think this is important about those kind of real world careers, about career exploration before they take that. So one concern could be if you use that assessment tool, but they haven't been made aware of all of, and really the future careers that are coming, not just what they know people do today. Will the assessment come out the way
Actually,
that it
yeah.
could? So,
We need to look at a career exploration component. There is a small unit that they do in middle school for seventh grade, which is a small one led by English teachers. Many schools, I think that comes in the comparison that we are looking at other schools. Many schools have a career exploration as an elective in a middle school. They often have that as a freshman, component in a high school, or as sometimes they even flip them around in their junior and senior year and have those exploration. I think that was under her surveying of what the needs were, and that's a very good point. We will note that. Because that is imperative to, forecast ahead and get experiences and create job shadows and have a foundation.
yeah, I think if implemented properly,
Yeah.
I'll start the conversation there, my comment there. Project-based learning is one way to allow children to learn about careers and explore careers if implemented properly. So I met with the principal of the Plano Academy on Friday. Long amount of time to do that project-based learning, but those modules are actual careers that they're solving problems in. And so I think as we assessment and all those things are good, but we have to make them aware of them, and we have to, that career piece has to also consider what is coming in the future for them.
I will say the Project Lead the Way curriculum in every single unit has a huge career component into it where they have to research engineers and bring people in and show them their projects and have a review team. So I think that the Project Lead the Way curriculum has that in, and it looks like we're giving that system wide. So hopefully some of that will come until we get the class per se.
Do we still have EDPs?
Yes.
And certainly our class offerings lets them explore, and the more we
hope to
have
increase those,
as far
for
as
sure.
the trades and stuff like that, and current things like Ms. Davis was saying, the more we have to show them that they can get a little experience with it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lewis. Any other questions? All right, Bond Marketing Committee. 2 weeks ago, when Rick did a presentation, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Rick did a presentation, he mentioned that we're going to be creating that committee. 2 board members stepped up right away and said they wanted to be on the committee, so it made it real easy for me to say, all right, there's our committee, because I want to be on it. So the committee consists of Mrs. Tomlin, Mr. Simpson, myself, of course, Rick. We did meet this afternoon for about 45 minutes. We discussed the fact that we're going to be meeting every 2 weeks starting next Tuesday. So the 5th and 19th, and August 2nd, 6th, and 30th. Lots of brainstorming going on right now, but certainly the thing that came out of, the most important thing that came out of me today is we got to create a list of all the data that we want. Just the why, right? The why. We got to tell the team why. We've heard that. So if you have ideas about what data that, and let us know. We're going to start creating a Google document so we can, by next Tuesday, say this is the data we want, and then we can work with Plant Moran or whoever it may be to get that data. So talked about how we're going to get out, not just social media, but print media, old-fashioned snail mail media, all that types of stuff. We're pulling all those together, but certainly before we can do any of that stuff, we got to get the data, the why data. So that's where we're at right now. Any other comments, Tim or Mary, on that?
Had a great meeting.
Kick off and
Yeah, if you
again.
guys, if you want our feedback, when you get the whys, will you include us? And then if we see anything missing?
Well, if you have something that you want included,
Well, I
let me
mean,
know
there's
right
some
now.
basic whys.
Okay, that's fine. But yeah, there's no secrets here. We'll share everybody with all that stuff.
Start thinking, making a list.
I'll get thinking.
Yeah.
I'll check my list
I would
twice.
love that.
Yeah, perfect, outstanding. All right, so that's it. We'll meet again on the 5th and then on the 19th. And we're really wanting to get this in. We'll be ready to roll with. We believe ballots will go to the public October 1st, but we certainly want time in September. So we need to have all this, in August, ready to go. That's the plan. Any questions? All right, we'll move on to discussion items. First and foremost, a date for the July organizational sorry, the July meeting, the organizational item. So usually in July, we just meet one time. Mr. Hildebrand, do you have a suggestion as to what that date should be?
I'm recommending the 18th of July for that meeting. I will be out of town the previous Monday. And the 18th, I think, would be better.
Is that a significant problem for anyone? I don't remember if I actually had floated that to all of you or not. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what they wanted.
So we already have one board meeting scheduled in July or no?
Yeah.
Yes, because we have, okay.
No,
That would be it, the one.
that would be it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah,
You get to vote on what you like in just a minute.
Yeah, we'll vote on that in a minute, but that's
So I guess I understand the 18th, and that gives you about a week to prepare, Mr. Hublerly, based on the things that will be on the agenda. Is that enough time for you and your staff to prepare and send to the board whatever needs to be reviewed prior to the 18th?
Yep, we'll make sure it is.
When would we like documents as a board before the 18th? Is it a Friday? Is it Thursday?
What documents are you talking about?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. What is on that board agenda? I just want to make sure. We seem to have run up to a lot of not having enough time to get documents out to the board to review prior to the meeting, or with enough time prior to the meeting, which is understandable. I'm just trying to make sure that the schedule is considered.
Well, I mean, I think we certainly had asked to have the board packets on Thursday or Friday at the latest.
Why, I mean,
I'll have them
that's
prepared
weeks in
by
advance, I
by
would think.
the 8th.
I was gonna say, I think we.
Okay,
if you're
as
late-
long as we're committing to that, but
We
that
should-
hasn't been the realistic situation. So I just want to make sure that everybody has time.
I guess and a week or two would be awesome, but weekly, we should have our board packets. I would think Wednesday or Thursday. I mean, to get them on Friday and then have more stuff straggle in, and don't you guys meet? Do you meet with him on
We
Wednesdays?
try to do that. It's, things change so rapidly.
Yeah, I get that,
Getting information so that it's fresh
right.
sometimes
Want it early or
drags
do you
on
want it
Friday.
Do you want it early or do you want it late?
I want it both.
Yeah, me too. I'm with her on that one.
All right, so any other discussion? I mean, we'll vote on that here in just a minute. TAA agreement.
Very brief negotiation session, I guess. We just agreed to change a couple of things. We added the new dates. I suggested, they agreed to a 2-year agreement, so the expiration of this agreement coincides with the expiration of the TEA, so that in years of negotiation, whatever is given to one group will be given to another. Just it makes it simple in terms of the negotiations. And then we did add one line to their pay schedule to include the TVA, Virtual Academy Director. So those two changes are noted in your packet, but that was really all there was to change.
Is there a percentage increase to the schedule?
No, and this group knew going in with the update of that salary schedule that was put in place 2021, that there wouldn't be a change in that until there was another change with the largest bargaining group, the TEA. So, no, the group is very satisfied with the levels right now and their place in it.
The only thing I saw on page 26, it listed the duration and it said December 14th, 2020 to midnight, June 30th, 2022. I know the page 1 talked about the new dates tonight.
Okay, so you found another spot where there's a date on the signature
Page
page?
26, yeah.
Okay, we'll have that updated so that when the contract is ratified, that'll coincide with the original date.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I saw.
Thank you for noting that, but that'll be on for approval at the July meeting.
Actually, it's on for this meeting.
Well, yeah, I guess we didn't notice that it was on for this meeting, but.
I thought we had to have it done by tonight.
The
It,
previous contract was done after the meeting date.
Pardon me?
The previous contract was voted on after the start date.
yeah, we actually didn't have that contract ratified for well into the school year. But I would say for you to take some time to check it out. There are no financial implications to waiting until the July meeting, so it does not require action tonight.
Okay. What does the board want to do? You want to,
I'd like to look it over some more.
okay. So I'll accept a motion, I guess, to table that.
I would move to table the TAA agreement vote until our next meeting.
Second.
Any comments or discussions?
My understanding is the only addition, right, is the TBA administrator.
TVA admin is added to the group, and then the date changes.
Everything else is the same.
Good either way, as long as our administrators are good with it.
All right, well, it's been moved and seconded to table the TA agreement. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, trustee Brooks?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis? Aye. Trustee Moore?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson?
Aye.
Trustee Tomlin?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so we will table that and bring it up again on the 17th. July 17th. Let me make a note of that. All right, action items.
I hereby move to set the July organizational meeting for the 18th of July.
Second.
We moved in second to set the July 18th as the date for the organizational meeting. Trustee Tomlin?
Aye.
Trustee Simpson? Aye. Trustee Moore?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Davis?
Aye.
Trustee Brooks?
Aye.
Date is set for the 18th.
I hereby move to approve the new Troon board policies and procedures as presented and discussed by the policy committee at the regular May 23rd, 2022 board meeting.
Support.
I have a comment on it. In reviewing those, there was one section in there and it had to do with the setting of the qualifications for the valedictorian salutatorian. It said that Veronica would add it and it's not in there yet. So we're approving it, I guess, with you making those additions. Okay? That's the only thing I saw that wasn't there. Do we need to redo the motion? Are we okay? Okay. Any other comments on that? We move to second to approve the new policies and procedures that was done, presented to us by the policy committee. Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Davis.
Aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Tomlin.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, and I want to thank the committee. I mean, this is, I mean, I spent some time reviewing those. I sat in on one of those meetings. That is a huge job. So I want to thank the committee for getting that done and certainly recognize your efforts on that. That's a significant act. Okay. Mr. Brooks?
I hereby move to approve the 2022 tax rate request L 4029 as presented at the June 13th, 2022 regular board meeting.
Support.
Been moved and seconded to approve the L 4029 tax rate request. Any comments, questions? Roll call vote, trustee Moore,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
trustee Tomlin,
Aye.
trustee Brooks,
Aye.
trustee Davis,
Aye.
trustee Lewis,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Tax rate request is approved.
I hereby move to approve the K&B asphalt quote for the middle school bus loop and the high school south drive as presented at the June 13th, 2022 regular board meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the asphalt quote for the middle school bus loop. Any comments or questions? Roll call vote, trustee Brooks,
Aye.
trustee Davis,
Aye.
trustee Lewis,
Aye.
trustee Moore,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
trustee Tomlin,
Aye.
chair votes aye.
I
Motion
hereby
approved.
move to approve the 2021-2022 final budget as presented at tonight's meeting.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded to,
Lots of support.
approve the high school asphalt quote.
I would like to amend that. It was
Okay.
actually presented at tonight's hearing.
The quote was?
So instead of saying meeting, she wants to use the word hearing.
It was at the hearing. This is the meeting. That was the hearing.
The,
Second.
So
the
I
asphalt
moved-
quote was?
The high school asphalt
budget.
quote was attached
The
to.
motion
Oh,
just
okay, got it.
motion.
So please redo it.
Yes,
Please
I
restate
hereby
that.
move to approve the 2021-2022 final budget as presented at tonight's hearing.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve the 2021-2022 final budget. Any other comments or questions? Roll call vote. Trustee Tomlin,
Aye.
trustee Simpson,
Aye.
trustee Moore,
Aye.
trustee Lewis,
Aye.
trustee Davis,
Aye.
trustee Brooks,
Aye.
chair votes aye.
And I hereby move to approve the 2022-2023 budget as presented at tonight's hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the budget, 2022-2023 budget.
Oh,
As
hold on a second. How do we handle the change in the security?
We didn't change it.
Oh, we left it. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the budget for the 2022-2023, the proposed budget for the 2022-2023 school year. Roll call vote, trustee Moore,
Aye.
trustee Lewis,
Aye.
trustee Davis,
Aye.
trustee Brooks,
Aye.
trustee Tomlin,
Aye.
trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Budget's approved. Thank you, Mrs. Brooks. Superintendent report.
Just a brief summary of the year. At the year-end cookout, if you were there, you heard me tell the group that I feel like everybody should have got 2 years of service credit for the things that we did this year. Going into another year with question marks on COVID restrictions and masks and mandates and things like that. And then to have a couple of different incidents outside of our organization, but impacting our students and staff related to safety and making those changes. A lot of bobbing and weaving to make this school year work. So from my office and each of the buildings, the elementary, middle, high school, a lot of flexibility shown by our people. And I can say at the end of the year, a very positive feel throughout the district. Disappointed that we didn't get the vote that we wanted in May, on the May 3rd ballot issue. But I also feel like in a very short period of time, we onboarded an enormous amount of feedback related to that allowed the board to make some decisions about how to handle that moving forward. And a lot of careful consideration, a lot of good questions from this group to decide how to handle that. And now with this board bond information committee, I guess, for lack of a better term, we know what it is that people are looking for in terms of more information. We're going to try to be more specific. We're going to have to become very real with people in some ways that may be uncomfortable, but the truth is the truth, and helping people understand why it is that we're asking for the things that we need will be the next phase. So learning all that through this spring, I think, was very valuable, and will show up in November when we try again. We onboarded about 23 new teaching staff members last year. We had a bit of contract snafu with 8 of them, and I was a little concerned about whether or not, because of that activity, those people would stay. But they stayed, and I think that they all intend to stay because they know that this is a great place to work. And they certainly received support from the administration and from the board throughout that. So I know that that has a big impact on why people come here and why they don't want to leave once they get here. We only had 4 retirements during the year, so we go into next year with a good deal of experience. And like I said, we learned a lot of things about a lot of things throughout the school year. So going into next year, I'm very upbeat and positive about what we're going to offer and how we're going to perform going through next year. So that's how things look from my seat, wrapping things up. Thought we ended with a lot of positives and a lot of answers to some questions that we didn't even know we were going to answer, but we came through some of the strife, I think, stronger than we were when we started. So that's it.
And thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Has there been, you kind of ended, we're out of COVID restrictions. Going into next year, has there been any indication of any additional changes that we need to make, or how we're going to be handling that going forward?
We haven't seen any changes that are indicated by the health department. Now, I will say that we do have a new health department director. So as that person builds their administration, we could see something different. But I don't expect things to be any different at the beginning of next year than they were at the end of this year.
Good answer.
All right, anything else from anyone? All right, thank you, Mr. Hilderly. Consent agenda.
I hereby move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the following items: minutes from the special board meeting study session of June 13th, 2022, minutes of the regular board meeting of June 13th, 2022, and minutes of the special board meeting on June 20th, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Roll call vote. Trustee Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Moore.
Aye.
Trustee Lewis.
Aye.
Trustee Davis.
Aye.
Trustee Brooks.
Aye.
Trustee Tomlin.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The consent agenda is approved. So items currently scheduled for the next meeting, which will happen on the 18th of July. Certainly, we'll have some discussion items, building handbooks, child care handbooks and procedures, fee schedules. We will have action items, which includes meeting dates for the next year. And then we will vote to approve the TAA agenda. Anything else that anybody knows of right now? Okay. Public comment. I don't know that we have any public comment. And then we'll move right along to board member comment.
I have one. I just think that last Friday was exceptional for Tecumseh community, that they had this, the all county football or whatever you call it, and people could come from all over our county and be in our beautiful football stadium and, enjoy a lovely evening. It was great that we could host it. The outcome was great. And I just saw so many people from all over the county, and I thought, how nice if there's a public school that could fit everyone.
As we're coming into our next bond issue, I would just encourage us all to have the facts at the ready. And when we're out and about and we hear conversation, no big stuff. Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. There are a few of us on this board that have dealt with uncomfortable.
It's easy from compared to that, I guess. It's just perspective, huh?
That was easy.
So anyway,
Well, that's all the
Make
more
sure-
reason to have a, like not a cheat sheet, but like a fact
Fact sheet,
sheet. Right,
absolutely.
and
Sure.
we need to develop that as soon as we can with the
I've
lies
been
and
trying
all.
to break
got
into
through
an
college
internet
on cheat
warrior,
sheets.
so
Yeah.
he's learning.
If you guys haven't been to summer school, I popped in there a couple times. Oh my goodness. This is not like summer school like people think of summer school. It's like this amazing enrichment opportunity. They were like painting turtles. They have community service or like a field trip that they get to go to every week. Then they went to the River Raisin Watershed. It was so engaging. And to have art and music and phys ed and summer school. I don't know any school in the county who has something that impressive.
Yeah, one of the comments we heard, we saw on social media was about summer school. And I mean, I thought, boy, that we are doing summer, somebody thought we should be having summer school. And I thought, boy, we're having it. We got to figure out how to make sure everybody knows that. So my comment is, I just kind of echo the fact that what Rick made as far as thanks to the staff, I've said it lots of times, but I wanted, as Trustee Moore said, just to thank Mr. Hill really. I mean, I tell you, I mean, he and I, we trade texts and emails and phone calls on weekends and days off. I don't know that he has had a day off where I haven't bugged him on something. And, just kind of in retrospect, what you said about what you learned, my dad always said, as soon as we figure out all the answers, they change the questions. And I think that's kind of what certainly you and the staff have been through. So thank you for all of that. And then I've said it, many times I want to stop. This board is working hard. And there's a lot of meetings and thanks to everyone for that. I mean, this group is committed and hopefully the public is seeing that. Huh? Right, that's all.
Don't commit us.
Yes, but that different topic, different meeting. But I mean, this guy. I mean, I'm telling you, this group is working hard. There's lots of community, lots of interest in making this a better school district, and the numbers are starting to show it.
I think the good thing, that whole thing, Tony, is we're working together. We have our disagreements, but they're civil. We have our overall goals and objectives, I think, are united. Just how we get there is the difference. And Rick's included that. I mean, there's 8 of us doing this, not 7. 9, Kelly. You're the ugly duckling that has to be the person with a pencil and eraser, right? That's just a bad. You chose that field.
Must have been her ass fat.
Oops. So, yeah, that's
And you
bad, right?
become a beautiful
And
swan.
Veronica's the
Right.
new person.
That's-
She
that's
fits
the
right in
bonus
here
on
and
Yeah.
doesn't miss a beat. Doesn't even talk.
Certainly is a successful year. All right. Anybody else? All right. Well, then I'll accept the motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Support.
So move second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same, close, same sign. Meeting adjourned.